Alright everyone, and welcome to the Don's channel. I am the Donfather and I'm now going to be doing a summary of round 22, 2019 in the AFL ladder. First up on Friday night it was Melbourne the Demons versus Sydney Swans. Melbourne going into this were sitting in 17th position, and the Swans were 15th. Both teams had lost their 5 straight games going into this game, and I actually had predicted a Sydney Swans win. Yes, my man, welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining. I predicted a Swans win, and that's what happened. 42-95 to the Swans, got the job done. I don't think anybody was majorly surprised by that. Quite a good scoreline for them anyway. Like, not bad, but it doesn't really mean anything in the ladder. Just playing for a little bit of, yeah, as you say, that's true. Did I watch West Coast versus Richmond? No, I didn't. Who did I watch when that was going on? I watched. Well, I did watch the last quarter of it, but I never watched the full game. And I watched the Hawks Suns phenomenal end to the Richmond one. So yes, apologies. I did watch the end of it. I didn't watch the first 3 quarters because I slept in a little bit because I was on the beer last night. So I slept in. Apologies for that. So Saturday, the first game on Saturday was Carlton versus St Kilda. Carlton were 16th going into this. St Kilda 13th. It was at the MCG. I predicted a Carlton win, but I knew it was going to be a tight enough affair. Both teams have nothing really to play for again other than pride. Carlton going into that lost 2-2 and won 3 before that. Thanks very much for joining everyone. That's yep, I'm getting to the Carlton one. I did watch Carlton St Kilda, absolutely magnificent. I did a review of it, so if you want to check out my review, you can check my review out. And St Kilda going into it where win, loss, win, win, loss. Ems. Sorry about that. Shut that door, please, down. Thank you. Carlton won 78-68, and what a fucking game it was. Absolutely outstanding. I loved every single bit of it. Both teams played for their fans, they played for their own personal pride and for the badge on the breast. Really went for it. And you just feel now with Teague, as it says, all aboard the Teague train. I think he's done a magnificent job. Now that he's been given the job full time, I was wondering what way was it going to go. Were Carlton going to get the win? St Kilda have been good from their temporary coaches came in. But I was delighted for Teague and the young players of Carlton because they're showing a lot of promising signs for the future. And with a couple of players that are linked outside of Carlton right now, some senior players that are really good in the game, they could be a team. A lot of people are tipping them for next season to be one of the main teams. Teague will be sacked in 2 years. It's the Carlton way. Well, I don't know. I hope not for his sake because he seems like a real nice guy and they are playing good footy anyway. And it is nice to see young players getting a chance and doing so well. They're quite fearless right now. And as I say, none of those two teams on Saturday had really much to play for other than pride. But well, it was a fantastic game of footy. Both teams really went for it. There's big hits. It just had it all. Action-packed. Low scoring enough game. 78-68 it ended up. But really good way to kick off the Saturday. So the big game on Saturday, there was no denying it was second place versus first place at the Gabba. Lions versus the Cats. Lions had won 8 games in a row going into this, and the Cats, their form was literally all over the place. One lost, one lost, one. And I actually predicted a Lions win to keep with the trend, Geelong with the loss. Hi Leanne, thanks very much. Nobody watches rugby league. So it was an absolutely unbelievable ending to that game in the line. I never actually seen it, but I watched the highlights this morning. I seen a comment from Chris Scott, is the coach of Geelong, saying that he thought Charlie Cameron was kind of ineffective in the game. Well, if you consider scoring 5 goals as being ineffective in a game, then you're absolutely delusional. I think he's as delusional as what his brother was. and you know what happened with him. He lost his job, so I'd imagine if Geelong keep up this form, he will not be. Whoa, Dylan, my man, thanks very much for the donation. Just popped up straight away there. Love that colour when it flashes because it means somebody's been really generous to me. So thanks very much, Dylan. Really, really appreciate that. You know that how much that means to me. Thanks, mate. So I was going to say one player that really stood out for the Specky. Well, there you go. Chris Scott is far more delusional than Brad ever was, but they're delusional brothers, aren't they? I feel that they're delusional. As somebody that's learning more and more about this game, I think he looks lost in that job right now. He's got no answer to. Geelong should be better than this. They really should. The quality, but the senior players that they've got in their squad, and they're losing games in such fashion as they have been. If you think back to the Port Adelaide game in the Adelaide Oval, I think that's when it started to go wrong for them. From the bye week, really, it's just boom, boom, one bad run out. Like every other week, it's a loss near enough. Their form is absolutely all over the place, and I think he looks clueless up there in that technical area. And coming out with comments about Charlie Cameron, who, if you're being brutally honest, has probably been the best forward. Of the year so far, up there with one of them anyway. He's up there with your Ben Browns. He's just absolutely exceptional to watch. Maybe not got the same amount of goals as them, but if you look at the last few weeks, he is really starting to turn on the gas and find a lot of form right now. He's been absolutely fantastic to watch. The trickery, the change of direction. I just love him. I think he's a little magician when he gets the ball, and he just makes things happen. He makes me excited to watch the game of footy, and he can score goals with the left foot and the right foot. Great player, but to say he was ineffective after 5 goals is absolutely ridiculous. But McCarthy, with an absolute specky, pretty much the last major play of the game to win it. And he kicked it. He kicked for goal, and he scored the goal as well. Absolutely amazing game there between the Lions and the Cats. 75-74. They've won by a point. 9 straight wins for the Lions. They really need to now believe that they can go and do it. And I genuinely believe they can do it. But next week is a mammoth tie. It is the clash of the Titans, the clash of the two informed teams next week. Richmond at the MCG versus the Lions. That is going to be outstanding. Some might argue that's potentially that's a grand final type game before a grand final, just the way the two teams are playing. Lachie Neale is absolutely ridiculous. Dusty was phenomenal today, but I'll get to that. The hats look great. Thanks very much, mate. You are getting the one that's a flex fit like that in black, of course. That's a blue one. That's the adjustable one in black. They're really, really good as well. I've sold quite a lot of hats behind the scenes. I'm happy to let you know, and about 5 or so hoodies have been sold as well, so it's doing really, really well. If you're interested in merchandise, do give me a shout. There's a couple of people I've still got to reply to as well, I think are looking merchandise. And I'm really excited about that as well. I'm trying really hard to get that going, as well as keeping up to date with the footy stuff. Dusty was absolutely outstanding from what I saw. I think I seen about half of the third quarter and the last quarter. Dusty really stepped up, didn't he? Absolutely phenomenal player. And they just keep getting better and better. I'll get to a couple of things that I've heard and read about this when it comes to Richmond. But as I say, we're on to the next game anyway. Crows versus Pies. Do you know something? I just feel with Collingwood, to the absolute agony, of most AFL fans who don't support Collingwood. The most hated team possibly in AFL footy is Collingwood. But I feel if Collingwood had a full team like most of the other teams in and around that top 8, they would be sitting in top spot. Players like Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Treloar, I mean, they're... Grundy, is he the best ruckman in the league? Possibly. Some of these key players, obviously De Goey's been out injured, Stevenson suspended, there's loads of players missing, but they are frighteningly good at footy, but their form has been shambolic at times, and it is down to injuries. He's not had a lot of a lot of players to pick from at times in terms of, if you look at what's happening with Richmond, their players are coming back to form and now they're getting back to winning ways, and I feel that's what's happening. When Richmond were going through that patch there, it was because a lot of their players were out. Now they've come back, they're at the MCG. People would argue home advantage being at the MCG all the time. It's just the way it works out, isn't it, for Richmond? It's not their fault. Geographically, they are a Melbourne club. There's more teams in Melbourne, so they've got more likelihood of playing more games at the MCG. They come from Melbourne, guys. You're just going to have to deal with it. This is AFL footy. They're a quality side. It doesn't matter where they play. They would beat you. Somebody made a point, but I'm going to get back to it. I've been reading a lot of Facebook stuff with supporters about Richmond, and I will get to this point. Keeps coming up, but it's relevant to a lot of the other Melbourne teams as well. But Crows, anyway, going into it, they were ninth spot. I should have said, sorry, Lions are now top spot after their win against Geelong. Geelong second. And the Crows were ninth going into this. They've lost, and won. The Pies had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a win. At the Adelaide Oval, this one, it finished 48-114. Collingwood were very, very good. I think the Crows are really, really poor right now. I don't know if there's any Crows fans talking right now in my live stream, but if you're being brutally honest with yourself, the Crows are absolutely horrible at football right now. I don't know what's happening there. They're playing Bulldogs next week. It is in Melbourne, and thanks very much, mate. Brody Lee Jacobson, thank you very much for the kind donation. That is really appreciated, mate. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Kind gift there. 48-114 anyway, that one finished. That gets the Pies actually remain in 5th with that one. The Crows dropped down to 10th. The battle for 8th spot is absolutely amazing. It's one of the main things I'm enjoying right now, because I think 1 to 7 is now secured with one of the other games I'm going to talk about. 7th spot secured mathematically, I believe. So the battle for 8th is absolutely tremendous. The heat is on. Really good stuff. So on to the next game anyway. Probably the biggest shock of the weekend. North Melbourne versus Port Adelaide. Dylan, mate, you know yourself, I put the power down to win this. They were the only team that let my predictions down. I got 8 out of 9 right. I predicted, and I think many people would have predicted, a power victory here after 2 wins in a row. But this is Hinkley all over. Hinkley, the Port Adelaide just lure you into thinking things are turning good again, and then bang, right at you. We're Port Adelaide. We don't do 3 wins in a row. We barely do 2 wins in a row, but we never do 3. They fucked it up for me. What can I say? But Ben Brown being the star player of the weekend, he's being touted Ben 10, Big Ben 10 goals against Port Adelaide. Congratulations to him, and actually to North Melbourne, because not only was the victory absolutely enormous, it jumps them from 14th place to 12th. Yes, they can't do it, but they're playing for pride now as well, and they're getting themselves as high as they possibly can. But check this one out. Port Adelaide dropped from 8th to 11th. That's how tight it is there. 144-58 though, but Ben Brown on his own scored 61.6 goals and a behind to Port Adelaide's overall 58. So he got 3 more points than Port Adelaide put together. Absolutely amazing for him. Power, you've let me down, and you, Dylan. Not only have they let you down on your bet, but they've let you down emotionally, because you're desperate for... Thanks very much, Dave. Thanks very much, mate, for that. Really, really appreciate that donation. I'm not sure what the comment is. Equal rights for... I don't know what that means, but thanks very much. Really, really kind, generous donation. Greatly appreciated, guys, for everyone that donates. You know that I'll never take that for granted. So we're on to the last game on Saturday, and this was really important. I think a lot of people thought home win, given the circumstances surrounding the Dockers. A couple of their legends of their game retiring at the end of the year. Dockers were predicted for the win. I actually went against that grain and said Essendon will get the win. I just feel 2 losses for Essendon weren't truly reflective of actually what kind of team they are. Fun fact, Donfather, GWS haven't scored in the last 2 halves for the first time 1911, and further to that, I think they haven't scored in their last 6 games in the last quarter. I think it said something like that, or 6 games this season, something like that. You need to look into that. There was something being said about GWS not scoring in the last quarter. I think it's 6 times. Really, really on poor form for them. But the Dockers versus Essendon anyway. Essendon were sitting in 7th. They really needed a win to secure it because it wasn't mathematically safe. Dockers 12 spot, still possible for them to do it. Their form going in was loss, win, loss, win, loss. They're very much like Port Adelaide for me. You can't bet on them. Loads of good young players, loads of good players in the team, players with experience as well mixed with that. Very much a team that on their day could potentially win a couple of players. If you look at Lachie Neale, what he's doing at the Lions, if he had stayed at Dockers, they could have probably been in the top 8 because he is absolutely slap bang. Leanne, thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate that donation. Very, very generous. Thank you. Thanks very much, Leanne. Very kind. Everyone's thrown in the donations. This is absolutely amazing. You know that. How do you donate, Glenn? It's just in the super chat feature below. There's a $sign. I've never actually done it on a live stream myself, so maybe somebody can help you with that. You really don't. Nobody is obligated to do it at all. It will never be taken for granted, but it is greatly appreciated. I think it's the $sign below though, and it must send you follow a link from there. So, as I was saying on the Dockers one, they needed a win. Their form was poor, and obviously Essendon 2 losses, and I think they had 5 straight wins before that. But their last games, 2 losses, 3 wins. They won 87-55 in the up the stadium and secured top 8 place anyway. Not secured 7th spot, but secured a top 8 finish. So on to Sunday. Somebody asked me, did I watch the Richmond one? Apologies, I should have been up. But I was on the bevy last night. I had a few beers and I slept in. I got up at about 10 to 6 or something like that. Seen the latter stage of the 3rd quarter and the full 4th quarter. Absolutely phenomenal. This for me, I said, was going to be the best game of the weekend because 2 teams that were slap bang in form playing each other. 3rd versus 4th, Richmond in 4th. They had 7 straight wins in a row. The Eagles had 4 straight wins, and they are the reigning premiers. They've been there, done it, bought the t-shirt. Superstar team. But I'm going to get to something here. Of course, they're an interstate team. They have to do loads of travelling. A lot of people are making comment on this. Richmond are being favoritised. I do say it myself. You can see the media like Richmond an awful lot. They're probably the media darlings, from what I think, from what I read about the game. The Eagles have to do a lot of travelling. They're a world-class team, but they have loads of amazing individuals. Probably more quality individuals than Richmond. But another thing to take into consideration here: the rain was taking absolutely no time to come out of the heavens. Both teams were playing against the elements today. Nobody has the advantage, but you would argue. Leanne, nice comment there. I'll get back to that right now. People would argue that Richmond probably had a little bit of favour. Being at the MCG, and it suits a handballing, short, sharp passing game of Richmond. Of course, they were without their captain, so they're missing that little bit of experience. But one thing I'm going to point out about Richmond is they play together as a team. You look at the way they celebrate with Lynch. Rewalt is probably one of the most hated individual players. I don't know why. I actually think he's quite good. He's getting a lot of abuse for putting studs into the back of players when he's jumping up for the marks, going for speckies, but studding people in the back. I don't personally think it's done out of aggression, but is it the Toby Green rule or something? They're trying to rule it out and phase it out because people are getting injured with it. But to the defence of his manager jumped straight to his defence, or his head coach, he's jumped straight to his defence on this and saying it's an absolute nonsense. But Richmond, see the crowd this weekend, I want to point out. I have never experienced, as you all know, finals football. I've never watched it and I've never experienced it. But I've noticed it stepping up a gear now in the atmosphere, and there's more people at the games. The noise is electric. It's deafening at times. one man stole the show the whole weekend for the noise, and I'm going to get to him as well. I'm absolutely delighted for him. But the noise at the Richmond Eagles game was fantastic. 88-82 it finished to Richmond. That's 8 straight wins now. They remain in 4th. Eagles remain in 3rd. They've not changed positions in the ladder. Nor St Kilda, Leanne. I have a soft spot for one team already. I wouldn't say I'm a die-hard supporter or anything, but everybody knows my soft spot and who they are, and I'm absolutely buzzing about their scoreline. So anyway, the huge game of the weekend delivered. It was a fantastic game of footy. The last quarter, though, for the Richmond Eagles game, wow. It was like the Carlton St Kilda. So frantic. Both teams gave it everything. Pure heart, hunger, desire, determination, just gave it all, left everything out on the field. Both teams in their own right deserved to win, but the Eagles came out on the end of a defeat. Richmond, as I say, look like a more polished, complete team with less stars than the Eagles, but more of a team spirit, if you like. They have a style, and they all have bought into this style of play, and it's working again. Like 2017, it's coming alive for them. It's frightening. They could do it again. Sorry, guys, here, anti-Richmond or whatever, but they could do it again, and you can't rule the Eagles out either. They're a team that knows how to do it at this time. One of the best teams throughout the last 15 years are getting the job done in knockout football. Absolutely brilliant. So on to... You could argue this was the biggest shock result. I don't think it's a shock result, though. Maybe the scoreline, the result. I predicted the result because the Bulldogs are absolutely sensational every single week. Even when they lose, they're great. Apart from the St Kilda game, where I couldn't believe what happened. St Kilda demolished the Bulldogs. Giants are sitting in 6th going into this. They've a loss, 3 wins and a loss going into it. Form's okay. I've not been convinced by them, though. Absolutely slaughtered in the snow against Hawthorn the week before. They never turned up. And the Bulldogs have been very, very, very good to watch. Probably Dunkley, phenomenal. I said the last 2 games he's really, really stepped up. Somebody says it's the last 10, mate. Well, I can't argue with that, but my unsung hero is McRae. Notting as well. Notting and McRae, phenomenal. Bontempelli, phenomenal. They are a team that play for each other. They fight for the badge. They fight for the Sons of the West. They fight for the club. They fight for the badge. Team spirit. They've got a big bite and a huge roar. The Bulldogs, the famous red, white and blue. They didn't just go and slap the Giants 65, 126. Absolutely phenomenal. But the biggest point to take away from this, out of nowhere, like 2016, the Bulldogs have found their way. Yes, they have found their way somehow, magically, into the top 8. Is it history repeating? Are they going to do it again? Write the Bulldogs off at your peril. Unbelievable stuff we are witnessing in this last week. I have absolutely loved this footy. It doesn't matter the team. It doesn't matter who you like or hate. I have watched 9 games of footy, well, nearly 9 if you minus the last one, where teams have played for the club. The fans in the stands have bought into it, the crowd's going wild. I've absolutely been blown away by the players rising even more. They're bound to be getting tired at this stage of the season, but they're finding something from nowhere. I think it's the crowd. It just gives them that extra lift. In soccer, you would call it the 12th man. I suppose it's the 19th man in the AFL, but that's what's happening. Even like you look at Carlton St Kilda, neither of these 2 teams are going to win fucking anything. They can't get in top 8. It simply cannot mathematically happen. But I witnessed 2 teams that went at it hammer and tongue for the fans and for themselves, their own personal pride, for their clubs, their owners, everything. They gave it everything they've got, and the last push of the season to just And do you know what? I'm blown away by how competitive this sport is. And if you don't love this sport, you either haven't watched it or you're a fucking idiot. Rant, I'm loving it. Anyway, last game, 126-65 Bulldogs. Congratulations, Giants. Do you know what? You're in the top 8, but you are fucking it up somehow. Dave, I'm sorry, you all know it by now. I am a passionate man. I feel just let it go sometimes. Dylan, you've took the words right out of my mouth. Ruffy, heart. I'm sure if you hate Hawthorn, if you're a Geelong supporter and you're like, stuff the Hawk, whatever, I don't care. If you're a Footy fan and you're a true Footy fan, you can respect a one club man like Jared Roughhead, Big Ruffy. How many individual awards this man's got? The ultimate team man. Even in this game, I'm just tuned in, Mirror Girl. Diane, you're missing an absolutely fantastic live stream. I'm flying right now. I did do a Collingwood thing for you. You have to watch it back. Really enjoying Collingwood his performance at the weekend. We're on to the Hawks anyway. Hawks have a chance to really put a statement down on the top 8. Sitting in 11th before this, they're coming up against the team that everybody wants to come up against in the Gold Coast Suns to get your percentages up. Is the Suns you want, and that's what's happened here. But the biggest talking point for the Hawks was Jared Roughhead, and a huge send-off for him, his family, the club, the fans, everyone. Just have a day with him. And it felt like a party atmosphere. It was fantastic. I'm not a Hawks man, but I like good footy. They played good footy at times. They played some fantastic footy. The Suns played average footy at times, some horrendous footy. But do you know what? It was at the Marvel. The crowd were there in their numbers. For Jared Roughhead, he got 6 goals today. See, in that last 2 or 3 minutes, he nearly made about 4 or 5 marks in about 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, the man is an absolute warrior, a beast of a man. He just went for everything. He just plays with his heart on his sleeve, and it's going to be a sad loss for the sport to see that man go. An absolute legend. Somebody told me, run through all his individual awards. I can't remember how many awards he's got. He's got Coleman medals, he's got all Australians, he's got best and fairest awards, he's got awards coming out his fucking ears left, right and centre. The guy's a legend. He had legends of Hawthorn in the crowd watching him. Buddy Franklin, of course, best friends with him. They were all there to give the big man a send-off, and he is a big man. What is he? 6'6", 6'7", an absolute giant, but he played like a champion today. Congratulations to him. And back to the game and not him. 118-48, so there's your percentages for the Hawks. Straight back up there. 17 straight defeats for the Suns. What the fuck is happening? But the Hawks jump straight into 9th. I'm going to go through the positions just on the games. Melbourne stay 17th. Swans stay 15th. Carlton stay 16th. St Kilda stay where they are. Lions in the top spot. Cats, what's happening, Cats? You're down to 2nd. By the skin of your teeth, you were holding on to top spot, and I don't know how you were doing it. Really poor this last wee while. Crows from 9th to 10th, they've dropped. They actually jumped Power yesterday after losing, and they got smashed. But Power got smashed more, and they jumped them. Absolutely incredible stuff. But they're back down again after other results with the Bulldogs, etc. So the Crows go down to 10th. The Pies remain in 5th. North jumped to 12th with Ben 10. Power, come on, Power. What have you done? Hinkley out. That's all I've got to say. They should be in that 8. I think it's Hinkley's fault. I think he's a lost cause now. Get him out, new year. I don't like calling for anybody's head, but what the hell is going on there? 8th to 11th. Absolutely shocking stuff. Dockers 12th to 13th. Essendon remain at 7th. Secure top 8. Richmond in 4th. Eagles in 3rd. Giants in 6th. Bulldogs in 8th. Hawks in 9th. Very, very exciting stuff here. What's going to happen here? They're 4 points behind the Bulldogs now in 9th. But say I'm going to go through the games and then I'll explain what I'm going to happen here. Obviously, Suns rock bottom in 18th. They would probably be in 18th in the VFL. Do you know what I mean? But I know, don't get me wrong, I know Gold Coast isn't Victorian League, but I'm just saying that's probably where they would be. They're shocking at footy. But next week, last game before the last round before the finals, this is your fixtures. Friday night, it's a big Melbourne derby. Collingwood versus Essendon, a top 8 clash, 5th versus 7th. 5th versus 7th, isn't it? And breathe. Pies, 5th versus 7th. If Essendon do it, it would be incredible for them, but I don't see it. I'm not going to do my predictions right now. I'm just going to run you through it. North versus Demons. Eagles versus Hawks. So here's one for the 8th, 9th, 11th. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Mirror Girl! Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you very much for that unbelievably generous donation. Really appreciate it. Loving the support you're all giving me. I might have to take my hoodie off soon. I'm starting to sweat with pure excitement. Please tell me you're not feeling this same way, though. I mean, I think the sheer joy that we're getting is we had a 1st versus 2nd, we had a 3rd versus 4th, we had some unbelievable victories in there, we had huge upsets with the Bulldogs and the Giants, we had, we've got 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th spot, an absolute battle going into the last week. It's incredible stuff. So Eagles might have a huge part to play and what happens with the Hawks. I'm going to call it an Eagles victory because they'll be at home, they'll be fired up, they'll want to hold on to 3rd spot and maybe try and get 2nd spot. They've got the better quality team for a start, and I just think the Hawks won't do it. So I think the Bulldogs are going to finish in 8th spot, depending on what the Pies do to the Dons. They could be 7th, but Bulldogs for top 8. And I said something to Dylan. Mate, you can confirm it. I sent a picture. I did a live chat from round 17. The order in which I got my top 8 was wrong. But see right now, if you check the ladder, the top 8 that I called are the exact top 8 that we've got right now. Wow, I'm blown away by that. But if you look at the actual top 8, 4 points between Bulldogs and the Hawks. There's a 4-point gap now. Percentages are tight. Very tight. So, I mean, I think it's going to stay the same top 8. The order might change in that top 8. But the 8 for the finals that you're seeing right now, I think are going to be the 8 at the end of round 23. So phenomenal stuff. I'm delighted with that I called that around 17. I seen what the Bulldogs were doing. Not a lot of people in the media were saying, hold on a minute here, Bulldogs are looking good. I fucking said it from the Collingwood game when Buckley destroyed his Pies players after that game. And I say it every single video I do. Look back at the Bulldogs' performance against Collingwood. I think it was round 17 it might have been. And the Bulldogs are really good. And they've not got the media are not spotting this. So I think I'm having the more, with the neutral eyes and having a little bit more experience now. And as an outsider, I'm starting to see things and not call it based on what I want to happen, but actually what I think is going to happen, down to what I'm watching in the games, and I think that's helping. And particularly with the Essendon thing, losing them the 2 games last week, a lot of people called them to lose at the Dockers, like I said, and I was held strong. I was like, I think they're gonna do it. Essendon, they do battle for wins, and they've done it. So I think that will remain the same. Anyway, that's the Eagles Hawks. Swan St Kilda doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Geelong Carlton. Do you know what? You can't rule out Carlton getting the win there the way Geelong's playing. I honestly don't know. I'm not going to do my predictions right now. Gold Coast Giants, fairly straightforward. Richmond Lions. Wow. You're talking a team that's won 9 in a row. against a team that's won 8 in a row. Unbelievable Clash of the Titans game. Really good. First game on the Sunday. Bulldogs versus Crows. Now, this really does make a huge difference for the top 8 as well. Well, I think the Bulldogs will do the Crows. I don't think the Crows are that good right now. But you get it's footy. Anything can happen. Power versus Dockers. Very much similar types of teams. It is at home. It is at the Adelaide Oval. I'd probably predict a Power win, but they've let me down so many times. It's unbelievable. As have the Dockers. It's going to be a good weekend of footy next week. Really, really looking forward to it. And breathe. Richmond Dockers. Tigers. Richmond Lions. Yeah, Tigers. I can start to read comments now. My rant is over and I'm absolutely roasting. By the way, these hoodies, they've got a little bit of a fleecy inline. Really, 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 and I'm not just saying that to sell hoodies. I'm blown away by the quality. Very, very good. I'm not sure if anybody'd be interested in them, but if you are, I'll give you the Australian price after the video because I don't know it off the top of my head. I have sold 1 or 2 to Australia now, but it's constantly changing. Dylan, mate, I owe you port for costing you 1,000. You don't owe me anything, Dylan, mate. Dylan, you did not need to do that, mate. Thank you very much. The donation, there's a hat on its way to you, mate. There's a hat on its way to you. You do not need to buy it. You've donated twice to this one thing. You do my predictions for me. You put the bets on the predictions. You've helped me out in other ways. You donate every live stream. You do not need to buy a hat, mate. I'm going to give you the black one, flex fit like you like. The black flex fit hat, and I'll post it to your house. So give me your address after this, and I'll get that sent to you. Free of charge, mate. Honestly, you do too much for me. Really appreciate that. Great stuff, lad. Thank you very much. He reckons he owes me because his team let me down. His team let you, your team let you down, mate. You're a Port Adelaide supporter. And as you quite rightly say, I think it's time for a change next year. And coaching staff, Hinkley is a lost cause now. He's run his course. He's run his course, hasn't he? He just sits there sometimes and I look at him and I think, what is going on there? But that was an absolute annihilation. You don't get beat like this. Oh, thanks very much, Thomas, mate. I really appreciate that. Let me know if you're interested. You talk to me through Facebook or whatever you like. I've got Rangers colours on. Do you know what? I've got a polo shirt. I don't know if I posted it on the YouTube thing, but I've got that logo obviously on hat, on polo shirts coming. I'll show you. It's going to be the white logo. There's a bit of a silver trim around that. It makes the letters stand out. That's just the plain adjustable hat. One size fits all type of thing. One size fits all on the baseball caps, and I actually doing them in club colours. I've done them. I've got a couple for my nephews, so I've sold a couple of hats. I've got my nephews wanting some, and they're Rangers supporters, and they're getting this type of royal blue hat, like Bulldogs, if you're a Bulldogs fan, mate. Royal blue hat with the white letters with the red trim around the letter. As I said, it might look class that in your own footy club's colours with the Don's channel thing. Obviously, this is fast becoming a footy channel, an AFL channel. So it's literally unofficial. It's official Don's channel merchandise, but unofficial footy club colours. Do you know what I mean? You can get them matching that there. Thanks, James, for your lovely comments there. I'm a good reactor. I really love the footy, mate. Absolutely love it. I'm delighted you're enjoying it as well. I mean, I feel that I've come a huge way in the sport. Stuff I'm learning, and it's down to just absolute obsession. Obsessed from morning, noon, night, watching it for... I watch so much, and I mean, people are sending me street talk videos. My mate Rob, he's actually got a hoodie coming to him and a hat. He's got the royal blue hoodie and just the plain black adjustable hat, so he's got that there. My mate, he sent me the street talk stuff with big Sam Newman. Funny stuff he did. Loads of clubs. He's going around all the areas in Australia talking to the fans, and some of the fans back in the 80s and 90s are mental, but really funny stuff. So I'm watching stuff like that. I'm watching obviously players of bygone days. I've watched modern stuff. I'm just becoming an absolute footy nut, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. And the reason why I think it's brilliant is giving you better content. I'm not just banging on like I'm saying something's awesome for the sheer sake of saying it's awesome. I'm really giving you as best feedback as I can about why is it awesome, why is something good, why do you like something, why do you not like something. You need to have a bit of insight in your opinions, and I feel that the amount that I'm putting in, amount of time and effort I'm putting in behind the scenes, and that's helping me give a better insight into certain things like opinions, and also things that I'm watching and stuff like that there. So giving better reviews of games, etc. But some amazing stuff over the weekend in the footy as a whole. Absolutely loving it. He is an absolute legend, Sam Newman. I don't know if he's still alive. Obviously, that was older stuff now, but really, really funny stuff. He's just a guy that I've just really found out about, but really, really good content. His facial expressions that people like, yeah, mate, whatever, see you later. He absolutely destroys them. All right, mate, how's it going, KF Rabbit? I've got a few comments coming through on Facebook. I've been putting a few Facebook comments up about things as well, and they're coming through. He's still alive and kicking. I'd love to see that stuff coming back. Really funny, modern day stuff. Really good stuff. James, what team you go for? Blue Bagger. The Footy Show and the Street Talk. Footy Show is something I'm going to have to watch a little bit more of as well. I know they were talking about bringing it back. You can confirm that if you like, because I'm not too sure myself. I'm not 100% sure. Ex-Geelong player. Really good guy. Funny. You tell he's genuinely a comic, like really funny guy. He's not funny anymore. Glenn says he's not funny anymore. Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? Everybody's got opinion about stuff. Some people find people funny, other people don't. And Glenn's opinion is he's not funny. Fair enough. But somebody was saying, "Were you going to be a Blue Baggers fan, a Carlton fan?" I'm not a Carlton fan. I do like watching them. I think they're a team to watch for the future next year. Obviously with Caniglio linked, a couple of lads maybe leaving, the Dockers maybe coming to a Melbourne side, and they're potentially linked with Carlton. They could be very, very good. Sam Newman is a bogan magnet. His street talk was awesome because he always managed to seek out, I think it said something about the Bogans. Do you know what? I love the Bogans. Really good people. Genuinely funny. They just don't give a damn, do they? I think that's great. Hug a Bogan, as Santa said the other week. Hashtag hug a Bogan. They need affection too. Mullet mania. The mullet's coming along nicely. Where Polly Farmer passed away this week. Oh, shame. I don't know who Polly Farmer is, but I did see that. Is everyone still there? Is everyone still there? My internet just chopped off, so I put it onto 4G on my phone. Panicked there for a little bit. There's nothing worse than being inside like a live stream when you're starting to get into the flow of it and you're enjoying it, and then something like that's to happen that goes against. Well, panic. Well, I know, mate. I lost it myself. It came up. Connection error, and then I just went on to 4G, so it seems to be a fast enough signal anyway, so I'm happy with that. I was on something. I was talking about something. Yeah, with the polo shirts is in that red, white and blue theme, so I'll have one of them on show next week. Polo shirts, if anybody's interested in a polo shirt. I can also get stuff. Polly Farmer was one of the very first Indigenous superstar. Unfortunately, there was a lot of racism around the time. That's part and parcel of sport from days gone by. Racism was just a part of sport, wasn't it? It was kind of, it was just, I don't even know if it was just racism through hatred or just the fact that that's just the way it was back then. And I think sport in general has just moved on. Some of these Indigenous players, it can't be denied, are very, very exciting players. Some of my favourite players to watch are the actual Indigenous players. Charlie Cameron was one of them that I'd mentioned. You're right, it's alright, I've got it on the 4G, I've put it on the 4G.
She switched that off again. Stop switching that off.
It was the child who'd switched it off the internet. 1 second.
Don't switch that off.
Don't switch that off.
Shut that door for the live stream. So one thing I'm going to actually add to this live stream. So round 23 is the last round before the finals, and we're wanting to start wrapping up now. The Brownlow, Donlow medal, the Mongrel medal, which I've got 2 in the running for Mitch Robinson and Ben Cunnington, for the roughest and toughest Mongrel medal, the Thuglow medal, and the Rising Star. I'm doing Rising Stars. I don't know if there's going to be any way that I could buy a medal and send it to the players. I do not know how I would go about doing that. A lot of footy players, if you were to message them, probably have their accounts where they don't receive incoming messages on social media. So I'm unsure on how I can contact individual footy players, but it would be good just for the channel to be able to send a live, send a medal and get a photo with one of these guys with a medal on, just for a bit of banter, but I doubt it'll ever happen. But we could do it on a board. I could get a board set up with the Thuglow medal 2019, the Donlow medal, and we're going to have to narrow that down this week, so I need help. Best player now from 3 or 2 players to 1 player in each club, and then we'll do the polls. I'll start doing a poll and I'll run them all down until we get to our top 8. We'll have a semi-final and a final, and we'll round it down to the overall Donlow medal winner, which is the best player throughout the year. I think the Brownlow medal's either going to go to the real Brownlow medal's probably going to go to Patrick Cripps or Lachie Neale of the Brisbane Lions. It'll probably go to Lachie Neale, but based on the fact that Brisbane Lions are now top, he has been influential. I mean, he went off the field of play yesterday with a huge split across the head. His head was wrapped up like a freaking, he looked like a freaking cotton bud or something. It was wrapped up that much. And he's went on and he scored a absolutely brilliant goal for the fact that he just showed great determination to get it. So I feel that he probably will get the Brownlow medal, Lachie Neale. But if they're trying to be neutral, the AFL, they'll probably give it to Patrick Cripps because they want to. I mean, he's a gun, isn't he? He's an absolute gun. Somebody so young to be so influential on a footy field, frightening. That guy is potentially the greatest in the modern era. That could be a bold statement, but from what I've seen, it's not doing that opinion any harm. Nat Fife, Michael Walters, Bradley Hill, 3 players I absolutely love, mate. Brownlow, Nat Fife, Pat Dangerfield, Lachie Neale, Marcus Bontempelli, fair shout. Tim Kelly, fair shout. But if you were going by the last few weeks, though, Bontempelli's been huge for the Bulldogs as well, hasn't he? I mean, his stats are ridiculous. Cripps gets great odds. Really? What's his odds? Dylan, mate. I'd be surprised if he wasn't odds. Him or Lachie Neale aren't up there for odds. $11. So $11 would get you what in return, I wonder? Josh Dunkley's been great, hasn't he? And I mean, now that they've got a chance of playing finals footy, I mean, Dunkley's not doing his favours. He's not doing himself any harm for it either, is he? $1 equals 11. All right, I get you now. I never picked up on that. That's not bad. Really, is it? Brodie Grundy at 34. I've got to be honest with you, Leanne, and I think Brodie Grundy's absolutely sensational. I don't think they're going to give it to a Collingwood player. You know what I mean? I think it's either going to go to. I genuinely believe from everything that you hear in the media if you were putting 34, I mean, even if you put $2 on that, there's what, $68 for Grundy. I think the bookies know rightly that he's not getting it though. If you've got odds like that there, but the Patrick Cripps one could be the one. I just feel now that Cripps isn't getting finals footy and Lockie Neal is. I just feel that Lockie Neal's probably going to get it. So really, really exciting to see who gets it though. And I mean, whoever gets it probably deserve it over the course of the season. Some of those names in there have been absolutely outstanding. Some big players for Geelong hasn't really done the job for them, have it, of late. Yeah, to grow, to commercialise the AFL, give it to Mason Cox and his ruptured retina. Big Coxie, mate. He's not that good, is he? So there's a lot of different opinions here anyway. Do I understand how it works, mate? I actually don't know how it works, so you have to fill it in. I mean, if you were just doing it off opinion and how it works, is it on points or whatever? I don't know, but if you could fill me in on how it all works, I don't know. As I say, it's my first experience with finals. It's my first experience with the Brownlow. The umpires vote. So it's basically whoever they like most. It could be a personality thing then. And it's based on the umpires. So it's going to go to a guy that everyone likes as a person as well. Personality mixed with talent. McRae, did he not get... Dunkley was good. I think McRae's was involved in an awful lot there, but I'll have to get all the stuff. Based on how well players perform in game. I think from what I was reading as well, Dunkley was better. Dunkley's become an absolute hero, isn't he? I like Naughton as well, if you're from a Bulldogs thing, Bontempelli. A lot of players, and I put it out there weeks ago. Who do you want in for the Donlow medal? And there was absolutely no names really coming through for the Bulldogs. Bontempelli was the only name I had, so I decided to put a couple of names down myself. But they're shining now, so it just shows you how a few weeks... I think the Bulldogs, obviously, the way they started the season, that's let them down, really. Top 8 would have been secured by now. I mean, they've lost some pretty poor games at the very, very start, so... another shout, another player I think is very, very good is Elliot Yeo at West Coast Eagles. He seems to fly under the radar an awful lot, but he is a big player. Let's be honest here. Really, really good player. Have I chosen a team that I'm going to... So, what's your views on Yeo? It's just a player that I just see his name all the time, Yeo. He just does so much. He's a jet. So, loads of people commenting here. So, doggies, question mark. Everybody knows it's been following the thing from day one when I started doing reactions, and I seen Big Barry Hall when he was at the Bulldogs with the red, white and blue. I was like, oh yeah, who's that team there with the red, white and blue Guernsey? And I like the look of it. I've got a growing soft spot for the Bulldogs. That's all I'll say. As far as a fan's concerned, no, I love just watching footy. The honest thing though is I love watching every team play, with the exception of the Suns. Barry Hall is just a thug, but absolute good player. I think that's a bit harshly, actually not a bad player. Absolute hard bastard. You should be a commentator. I would love to be a commentator. I was thinking, if the channel grows in the AFL community, my channel grows, to eventually funding myself a podcast. a live podcast where you can have guests and talk live with other people from Australia that are doing similar things down under, and we can talk together on a live podcast and try and grow it from there through our YouTube channels, because there's some really big YouTube channels growing in the AFL. Obviously, mine's is probably one of the smallest ones, but there's some good guys doing the AFL stuff. Not reactions as such, doing their own videos. I mean, I've reacted to a couple of them and they're really, really good stuff. So if I could build a relationship with them and help support their channels and they could support mine, obviously a bit of team spirit going on there within YouTubers doing videos for entertainment purposes in the AFL, that would be great. I mean, for me, not really getting a chance to speak AFL other than on YouTube, it's not as good, but for being able to do a kind of more of a daily thing on a podcast or every other day would be fantastic. Yeah, that would be absolutely outstanding, Dylan, mate. I mean, if we could get a couple of guests over, the better it grows. I mean, if you look at, there's people doing their own radio stations. Big Brendan Favola, Brendan, heads went blank there. Favola, big Fev, Carlton legend. He's got his own radio station, hasn't he, as well? So even if we could get a couple of people even getting the odd slot on that or something down the line, just talking to them, something. Dare to dream. Triple M Radio. Yeah, I was on SEN. I've not actually spoke to Triple M, but that's something I think I'm going to have to do somewhere down the line. Is start contacting these radio stations. I think it cost me about £15 on my mobile phone, £15 sterling, so let's say 30-ish dollars to talk to SEN radio for 5 minutes or so. So it's quite expensive to do it, but if we were doing it, someone maybe they could phone me back for one, the more the channel grows. So now that's like a very nice thing to say. Anyway, Leanne, like, they think you'd like me. I don't know. I mean, I know that I've got a great support here building on the channel and on social media. You know that I talk to everyone back behind the scenes as well. I feel like I've made it quite a lot of, I wouldn't even say people, I wouldn't even call you subscribers or even viewers. I would actually start to call a lot of people now, because I'm talking through, you've been here from day one and really helped me. I would actually say I'm building a good friendships as well, you know, with people. I really want to meet people when I come to Australia as well, meet up with the people who have been there and helped me from day one and even supported financially. That will never be taken for granted. I mean, that's really, really helping the channel grow. I mean, the same names every week coming up, it really does give you a great satisfaction, because you're doing something right, that you're keeping people's attention every week, rather than somebody just clicking in, checking out what the new guy's doing, or what's this Scottish idiot doing, he's making a comment here, but they're staying with me. They're staying with me now. People are staying with me, and I think that's probably one of the biggest compliments I can take from you, is that you've stayed with me from day one, supported financially, supported with help with learning about the sport, comments, been really, really nice with the stuff you're saying. Even through social media, Facebook, Instagram, some people, Twitter, people are messaging me through. Obviously now with the merchandise, I've got people buying some merchandise, which is helping. I, for example, get more stock for merchandise as well. So growing merchandise stock, and also putting a little pot of money aside for the Australia trip, planned trip with a family, vlogging trip, but also meeting people. Obviously there's cities, I'm only going to be able to do 2 or 3 cities on our first trip, but then obviously take it out west, or take it up to Brisbane on the east coast there in time, and then meet people who've been with me from day one, or indeed for people who are joining the channel now and sticking with me, maybe meet up somehow and do something where we can. Who are you tipping next week? I'll do my Thursday predictions as usual. I don't know. Round 1 2020 next year. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, 2020 could possibly be too soon for the channel, because I'm predicting it's going to cost, for a 3 or 4 week trip with internal flights. I've heard that internal flights in Australia are quite expensive. So I'm taking my whole family with me, and we're going to be doing loads when we're in Australia. I don't want to be scrimping. I want to have money saved up and do loads, so I can do loads of videos and vlogs. And as I say, also meeting up with people on the channel as well. I've got a few people that know that I'm meeting up with them already. That's planned for my Adelaide part of the trip. I've already got some sort of things planned in the background there, with a couple of my friends here. Just basically doing that there, but I'm kind of put £10,000 sterling so for the trip. So 2020 could be a bit too far away, but as the channel grows, I think 2021 could be realistic to do a really good content for everyone. 2021, I love to be able to go in 2020. The best way you can help as well, not only donations and stuff. Donations are absolutely fantastic and I always appreciate it. But just sharing videos or encouraging people to like our Facebook page. If people like the Facebook page, there's loads of YouTube stuff going on that as well. That's actually expanding and growing the network, the support network as well. So if you've got friends, invite them to like the Facebook page or invite them to like the YouTube page, and views will help the channel grow as well. And that might make 2020 a more realistic option, but I doubt it. We're sitting in September nearly, 2019. So 2020 could be too soon to get that sort of money together for the channel. 2021 is my target. I want to hit it by 2021 and come through our summer months, which will be June, July. Try and do 3 to 4 weeks and end of June throughout July 2021. That is the ultimate plan. Fambo. Cheers, Dave. Yeah, logistics with family. I don't know. What about internal flights? Are they expensive? So say, for example, I fly into Melbourne and I go from Melbourne to... I have a bit of a trip there and I go to Adelaide. What sort of price tag for an adult flying? Is it like like domestic flights like that, internal flights? Is it expensive? Because I would be trying to work all this out before I come anyway, planning the trip. So if anybody could give me a kind of bit of a ballpoint mark, roughly a rough mark of what that would kind of cost, I could even work it out a little bit better. But that's the aim anyways, 2021. I know that people are going, 2020, you need to come for this game or this date, etc. I would love to do that, but $100, $50, that's actually alright. That's actually quite cheap. So £50, £60 sterling for an adult. Just quick mathematics, so say children, half of that. 60. £280 for a flight. That isn't actually that bad for a family of 5, is it really? Cheers for that, Dylan, mate. That's good to know. Quick math off the top of my head. I'm not bad at maths. About that there. That's not too bad. I was trying to convert it. If you do $1, a pound, $2 roughly. It's actually below that. I think Australian dollars to the pound. £1 gets you 1.78 Australian dollars. A couple of years ago, it used to be a pound got you 2.5 Australian dollars. So the pounds got weaker. And the Australian dollar, maybe the Australian dollar's improved and the pound's dropping with Brexit, I don't know. So, that's the plan for the channel. I've done over an hour and 4 minutes of a live stream. It's been an absolute pleasure. For people who joined the stream late, do check out my review of the Footy. I really enjoyed that. I think a lot of people were enjoying it as well on the live stream, and you might get a laugh. So it will be posted and loaded up as usual. So if anybody wants to check that out, feel free to watch it back. And if you've any comments about anything that we've talked about, do comment in the video below. Or if you follow us on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter or any of them, or if you don't, do check us out. And I did see a comment from Peter, mate. I never got back to you there, Peter. You joined late. I want you to check out the review of the games as well. So sorry about not calling you out there. I was on a bit of a roll there. Peter George, Thanks very much, mate, for your support. Always appreciated. Can we get some Don's channel bras? I'm sure you could. I don't see why not. Yes. If you want one, I'll get you one, Dave. I'm not one to judge. I can get anything you like. I can get sports clothing. Obviously, the better quality, the more the price. On the merchandise thing as well, if you want merchandise hats, you've got the adjustable hats like that behind. We've got the flex fit ones. They're really, really, really good quality. Flex fit, that's a small to medium on me, on my head, and it fits perfectly. It's probably a little bit more room. Large would be decent size as well. Dave is winding Leanne up like nicely. Peter, mate, I talked about an adjustable one for you. I'm going to send you a flex fit one for all your support. I didn't get talking to you about that, so there's a flex fit coming to you guys because you've been supporting me from day one financially as well. So I'll send you flex fit for your huge support on the channel. You two guys, you get flex fit hat. That will never be taken for granted, your continued support. But as I was saying anyway, all merchandise, polo shirts, t-shirts, we can get sports clothing as well, tracksuit type tops, like a tracksuit material, like you would see AFL kind of players running around in, that type of material. I can get them with the logo on, so if that was something you were interested in, let me know. They might be a little bit more expensive, I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Hoodies start at £30. If you were buying a couple of items, we would work out a deal to suit you. But that's just it, guys. That's all I've got for you. Prices, as I say, I'll get back to you in private messages. I'll have to find out through the supplier what each individual item is. If you want a different type of thing, I know Dave wants a bra that I think he's saying that's for Leanne. I don't know what's going on there. I've not been keeping up to date with that. Leanne, you can talk to Dave. That's none of my business. Dave wants a bra. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You might want to hook it up on his wall and send me a photo with the bra with the Don's channel logo on it. That would be fantastic for the channel. If you want one, I'll get you one, lad. Perfectly fine. Really, really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the end of this chat anyway. All of our links to all of our social media is in the description section below, as always, and all the other ways you can help support the channel. And for all you guys that have been supporting me from day one, honestly, you don't know how much it means to me. Really brilliant stuff. I've had a good laugh doing that, and we're building a good community on this channel. I think everybody who's coming week in, week out, get a good laugh with each other. Dave and Leanne being a key example. Everybody treats everyone with respect as well. I mean, there's footy, there's banter, but be respectful, and there's great banter coming between our followers on the channel as well, my friends of the channel, and that is, as I was saying, one of the biggest things I can take away from the channel is friendships building in it, and I'm really enjoying it. Thanks very much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Sunday next week. Do not miss it. Live AFL review next Sunday. Same thing again. Last week, I'm going to have to read back some of these comments because I'm missing them here as I'm losing track. Some good banter happening there. Really getting a good laugh for that. Last week before the finals, could there be some twists and turns in terms of number one spot and top 8? I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Stay tuned for that. And obviously my predictions as usual on a Thursday. I think you can pretty much guess what some of my predictions are going to be anyway. Hopefully get a couple of reactions in through the week. And just stay tuned for other stuff that pops up through social media as well. I've been doing loads of stuff. We've been doing loads of little family trips when my family's been over from Scotland or England. I've been posting quite a few stuff up on that as well. It's good to get comments on that with you as well. I'm enjoying that banter as well. So thanks very much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.